Hello, hello. Today I'll be backtesting. Um, I'll be framing one single trade and I'll go through my process of how I would come to a bias and build a narrative. Okay, so there's some tools I won't be able to use, such as news events and stuff like that, because I'm going back in time and I don't want to look um, at the news events for every single, weekly candle. Okay, so yeah, I'll use the replay tool and I'll show you how I do it. So let me just squish everything. Okay, I'll start on the monthly time frame. Shoot. I can't go too far actually. So let me, also I won't be able to go down to too much of a lower time frame. All right, so we start on the monthly and let's build a narrative, okay? You see that price took out this high, started consolidating, and then broke down into this area here. Major imbalance. Price expanded, filled this inefficiency, which is probably around the 61.2 level, 61.8 or 62% level of the fib. Boop, boop, boop. Almost there, roughly. Okay, well, it is in a premium zone, so that's all that matters. If we look here, premium's up here, and discount is down there. So we retraced and started to break down, consolidated, expanded up here, and then broke down again. So now we are here, and let's take a closer look so we can frame our eventual trade. Okay, so first thing to note is this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency here. What is this? Okay, on the monthly, and there's one here as well. Let's just take this whole area. Okay, and an order block up there. As we can see, price did not disrespect the order block. Came back to here and broke down. Okay, so let me remove this so we can have a clearer idea. This is a monthly, and I will write monthly inversion fair value gap. 1 month was the previous BISI, now it's a SIBI. And we see that price is also creating another SIBI here, right? SIBI 1 month. Expecting it pretty well. It broke this low. And now at this point, see one more here. Okay, it's not the best area. Not reached that, but it reached this one. I'm just going to fill in this whole area here, okay? Yeah, so now we have been bouncing from this SIBI down to this BISI into this SIBI again. Maybe it's a higher time frame SIBI, maybe 2 or 3 months possibly. And this could be 2 or 3 month inversion fair value gap as well. Okay, so that's related to the price delivery continuum. I have a video on that if you want to check it out on my YouTube or TradingView profile. So now I'll just go down to the weekly. Wow, okay. Major gap here. Let's paint it a different color. Let's call it maybe a weekly opening gap. And this is the weekly here, disrespected. So, okay. Let's see if we trade up there. Okay, we did trade up there. We still have a bit of the gap to fill. I could play another week. Should I play another week? Yeah, I should. I think this was during COVID. I can't remember what exactly happened here, but okay, so we're breaking down. Okay, so I'm going to go to the daily. get more info. Okay, looks like we're breaking down. So I'll have a gap here. That's the opening gap. I'll just extend the entire gap the entire way. We'll say that's the daily gap. And premium to discount. Okay, let me use, it's a bit, the color scheme is a bit not easy to see. Yeah, okay, so it's the daily. All right, also the daily. We have a gap here. Okay, I mainly look for gaps because to me that indicates institutional sponsorship. Big players coming to market and creating these pockets of imbalances where they can reaccumulate or distribute their positions. So if I press the forward tool, it's going to skip all the way there. So I'm contemplating, do I want to do that right now? We have a nice breaker here. It could come into there and come down. It's okay, I'll fast forward. Okay, it already did, and it already came down. See what I mean? So even if I wanted to take a trade, it wouldn't be. This probably happened during London. It's okay. I can still retrace. That's still a black candle. I'm going down. Some nice equal highs there. I don't know if we'll come up to that just yet. All right, so we're moving lower. We took out this sell side. Now we're on the daily. I think we can afford to go back on the weekly. I think it's fine. So let's wait for something on the weekly to show up. All right, because we took out this major area of liquidity, I'm not going to go in here on the weekly gap and look for a short. That's not what I want to do. It is a bit too much of a discount to be looking for shorts. Okay, I want to see this weekly gap be disrespected. If I can, okay, maybe an inversion gap. There's a tiny gap here. Okay, price stabs into it all the way. Okay, we're still at a discount, so I'm hesitant to look for a short. I should have looked for a short. No, it's okay. Let's wait, because we want to frame one trade that wins, okay? You know, in normal circumstances, we won't be waiting years to take one trade, because we'll be framing things on even lower time frames. But let's see how much of a high probability we can get when framing our trade ideas. Okay. We have such a discount, but I do like these kind of gaps. So yeah, let's give it a go. Let's see if we can see anything on a lower time frame. So we have a weekly gap here. This is a weekly one, CB, 1 week. Also my R2F gap, which I find very high probability, breaker, order block. Price is coming into a premium as well. So the only issue is that we are at such a discount in this general order block area. So not a great place. Not a great place to look for swing shorts. This is a weekly time frame. So let's go down to the daily and see if we can get into this weekly gap. Okay. Refined, it is in this area here. Okay. All right. You can see how the whole candle prints, so it's not great. Okay, we gap up, create this new day opening gap. Push it all the way down. And all right, so we have this inversion new day gap here. We could possibly take a trade. Let me just look for the lower time frames now. 4 hour, see what we have. Got a breaker here, which is nice as well. We can come into this area. Okay, into this 4 hour. We may make another low and then go higher. Not yet. Okay. Yeah, make another low. Then we move higher. Took out this liquidity. Now there's these relative equal lows here somewhat. Just taking note of that. Let's see if price bounces in here again to make more equal lows. Okay, close enough. Close enough. Now we're in this area. Okay. And close to it. Oh, lingering. All right, and then breaks down. Okay, let's go to the 1 hour. Let me turn on some kill zones. Gray is Asia, orange is green is London, and blue is New York. Okay. Let's see what's on the left. Next area is liquidity down there as well. Okay. This is 1 hour gap here. Just to differentiate 1 hour. Equal highs and this resistance here. So let's go down to the 15. Hopefully we can. Okay, we see this order block here. My concern is this gap here. Come into it. Okay, we can break down. All right, so let's try this out. Okay, inversion fair value gap. Was a busy, disrespected. Now let's see if we can take a trade in there. I'm not going to go to a lower time frame in case the whole chart refreshes because it doesn't have enough data. But let's, consequent encroachment of this gap. Nice order block as well. Let's put it at this high. I'm anticipating price coming into this gap, and then let's target these lows here, okay, for a first target. Yeah, and possibly lower down here. All right, so we have one target here, one there, 2R. Let's see if we come into here. Not yet. Okay, we came in, not the kind of candle close I want. Filled in more of this gap. However, there's a gap here, an R2F gap, which is usually quite a high probability. So at this point, I may have taken some of the position off because we may get higher prices, right? Breaks through that, which is nice. This is 9:30 opening bell. Let's do one more candle. Okay, all right. Yeah, so at this point, there's another gap here. Also an R2F gap, inversion gap. If I see that happen, I would have liked to take a trade in there as well. So it's okay. I'll maybe pyramid in more of a position, right? And maybe trail my stop a bit lower, for example. But let it break this low first before moving all that. Okay. All right, nice. At this point, I could trail my stop to break even or even above this high, right? Because I've taken some profit here. Another gap. This resistance. Boom. Well, what's that? Wednesday, 21st September. You can check the news out yourself. But yeah, it goes a lot further. Now, I was just going from higher time frame to lower time frame. If I had an even higher time frame target um, on the left, or if I was trading live, right, I'd be able to do more analysis in advance of what I'm expecting price to do. So I could have a higher target where I could leave a runner as well. Let's just go. So this trade worked out. What was the initial stop loss? Come on. Okay. Initial RR was about, I guess, 1.72. You could refine it if you went to even lower time frames and as well. So let's just go down to the weekly, the monthly, and see if there's any draw on liquidity there or not. Yeah. So price was just moving lower and lower. During my own analysis, I'm going as high as the 12-month. Okay. So we see 12 months, 1 year. Each candle is 1 year. And we see a 1 year gap here as a draw on liquidity. And price bounces pretty high, right? It comes all the way down. And let's check that range. It's almost 1,000 pips. Yeah. So if you can get in line with the higher time frame and manage to get all the time frames in synchronicity with each other, and be really solid with your planning and analysis, you can catch a lot of pips and more often than not be on the right side of the market. Okay, so that's how I would frame a trade from a higher time frame to a lower time frame. And yeah, that's basically it, really. If you have any questions, do let me know. I'll try and do one of these every week on like a different asset. And yeah, let's just see how much of a high probability, what type of win rate we can get. The only problem is, the news, high impact news, CPI, FOMC, PPI, which could just propel price at any point of time. So yeah, that's the only downside. But we can write that off if that ever happens and just say we didn't have that info. Okay. All right. Till next time. Happy trading.